Welcome back to the second episode of Left Lovers. I'll very briefly talk about current events, of course, with Afghanistan. Uh, Bombing outside the airport, 4 Americans dead, who knows how many Afghanistanis, and who knows really anything about what's going on right now. Like, I don't think anybody does. I think they're scrambling to put it together. But if anything, it shows a deeper lesson about why we shouldn't go to these places in the first place and try to force our will. It's not even our will. It's not the people. We didn't, want to stay in Afghanistan for 20 years. Military industrial complex did. So we have to do our due diligence every time our media beats the war drums like they're currently doing for us to stay there. Um, but it's a deeper lesson because when we started this war, it was like about Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda. It changed over time, multiple times. We've had withdrawals and we've had surges again. Like, I'm 29, I'm about to be 30. We've literally been there almost 2/3 of my entire life. And we have nothing to show for it. We have nothing to gain by it ourselves. Like, it's just a way for people to make money at this point. And at the same time, every single bomb is just going to be used for more, for lack of a better term, anti-American propaganda, or whatever. Like, I mean, that's like the worst choice of words right there, because like, I don't care if it's anti-American per se. Like, I obviously have my problems with this country and our government, but what I mean is, it's like a terrorist recruitment tool. Every single bomb that we drop, every drone, every soldier that these kids encounter or have a bet, who knows? It's just, it's perpetuating the problem, and it came to fruition in Afghanistan. It's been led, it's been used to justify other wars like Iraq as well. I'll that whole thing about WMDs, and there, I remember the media. I was only a little guy, and I remember the media talking about him and 9/11 and you know stuff like that. But anyway, um, the deeper lesson, again, is just we shouldn't be going and spreading ourselves around the world to try to defeat something that we literally created ourselves. Like, people need to look into our foreign policy more. I do as well. I consider myself an anti-imperialist. I don't want us, just destroying countries and fraudulently rebuilding them and branding them as democracies when they are really dictatorships or puppetatorships, for lack of a better term, like Iraq was and like Afghanistan was. Nation building and all of that. Nation destroying is what it really is. And it only creates more enemies in the long run. But, with that said, there's been so much that I've just noticed in the media, like in the last, week or so, just how much more they're beating the war drums for us to stay. So we have to be very vigilant about this. And it's sad to see, like, all these people hanging from the planes and helicopters or whatever, and knowing that our country overthrew, or created an organization to overthrow a leftist government there and try to beat back the Soviets and all this stuff. It really, really, truly backfired. Like, if that was the goal, but like if the goal was just to make money, so many people are wildly successful. But that's war, it's a racket. Every war. It's not for us, it's for billionaires here. I wish people could see that. We have nothing to gain. And sure, um, we could have handled things a lot better, regardless, like the withdrawal. I'm not going to act like I have any of the answers because I really don't. Nobody does. I think that's the problem. That's why we shouldn't have gone and, stayed for 20 years and done any of this at all. Um, and again, we literally had warnings about 9/11. On August 6th, 2001, Bush had it on his desk, imminent threat, about Osama bin Laden and hijacking airplanes to crash into buildings. They knew. They ignored it. Who knows what else? It's not like I'm making this up. It's not a conspiracy. It's on the public domain. Anyway, there's so much. And just to keep this brief and simple, next time the media is beating the war drums for us to invade another country or telling us about, an attack or worrying about people's freedoms, make sure it's not a projection of them, onto another country, because quite frankly, our freedom is, well, I'm not going to go right winger here at all. It's not about, like, oh, the mask and the vaccine and all that stuff. To me, what our media tells us other socialist countries or leftist countries or even just, regular people, they tell us all these bad things, and it's rejection. While we are told other countries spy on you, or spy on their citizens, ours does that. While we're told that China is the enemy of the world, half the world hates my country because we are constantly bombing people and, quite frankly, rigging elections and overthrowing governments and manipulating currency values. So, just exercise skepticism for the next war, because this one and Iraq, apparently, there wasn't enough. Not discrediting any of the people that stood against these wars over the years. But we got to do more to make sure this never happens again. Thank you, and that was Leftovers.